so let's just kind of take a pulse check of what we've done so far in this module. We started out by revisiting some of the things that you read about in your pre-work, and we started by just trying to remember how the questions were defined and maybe have the ability to recognize what they look like when we see them, and we did that with the relay race. And then we bumped it up a little bit, and we took a look at a transcript of a conversation between a seller and a customer. And we tried to look for the investigating skills within the context of that dialogue, right? So you sort of have to scooch before you crawl, and you have to crawl before you walk, and you have to walk before you run. So we're probably between scooching and crawling right now, right? So we're gonna go to the next step, which is, okay, we've now kind of figured out what they are, and we've looked at them in a context, but we've not yet actually planned any of these questions or even had an opportunity to ask them. Now, in our next module, where we're going to be going fairly shortly, you're actually going to have a chance to do that exact thing around one of your own customized cases. A case around a customer who's going to look an awful lot like one of your customers. But that's a little closer to running, and we're not quite there yet. So we're going to just take one more look at the spin questions, specifically situation, problem, and implication, using a generic context. And I'll tell you why we do that. You really do need to kind of get there in little steps, and it's often helpful, as you've seen throughout the workshop, to do so generically. Because if we took you from introducing you to the concepts all the way to now go and do a role play in your own business, you'd miss a lot of the skill development. So for this activity, it's not a simulation, it's not even like a real role play. We're gonna isolate 3 of the skills that we've talked about so far for the purpose of skill development. So in this activity, we're just going to look at situation questions, and we'll plan and then ask some of those. And then we'll move on to problem questions, and we'll plan and ask some of those. And then we'll finally move on to implication questions. So just for the purpose of skill development. So let's go ahead and take a look at this activity. If you want to turn to page 71 in your workbooks, I'd like to ask you to just go ahead and read through those instructions before we get started. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do, because I'm going to be your customer for this activity. Let's pretend for the next little bit that I am a purchasing manager at a major 4-star hotel chain, and I'm responsible for purchasing the drinking glasses that go in the guest rooms. All right? So again, purchasing agent, manager, buy the drinking glasses that go in the guest rooms, and you, not surprisingly, sell drinking glasses that people put in the guest rooms with their hotels. So I thought it might be helpful for you to know a little bit about what your solution looks like. Gives you a little bit of context for the questions you'll be asking. You are asking situation questions and only situation questions. If you ask me anything other than a situation question, I'm going to let you know one way or the other it's not the right kind of question to be asking. So situation questions ask about background, facts, context. They're really about my current situation. If you start asking me questions about what I might be interested in the future, or what a future solution might look like, those wouldn't be situation questions, right? What kind of questions would those be? Just to do a quick check. Need payoff questions. So watch out for the need payoff question here. We're not asking those yet. All right, so who would like to ask the first situation question? Okay, Michelle.
Can you describe your glasses to me?
Sure, of course I can. And of course, if this were a real call, I'd actually probably be showing it to you, but we'll just pretend that I have one. So, yeah, the glasses are, well, they're a little bit small. They have a 6-ounce capacity. Then they are etched with our hotel insignia, which we quite like. And they have kind of a funny shape. They're octagonal, so they've got lots of nooks and crannies there. So it's a little bit about the glass. Yeah, over here.
And how long does it take to get them delivered, you said?
Well, they're delivered every month, but the glasses are custom designed because of that etching. So it is about a 3-month wait. So I'm getting glasses every month, but I'm only getting them, I'm getting them 3 months out from when I ordered them. Okay.
How would you describe your clientele?
Oh, well, as I said, we're a 4-star hotel. We cater to both business as well as vacation travelers. So we do a lot of business meetings. We hold a lot of conventions, but we certainly get our vacationers as well. But I would say primarily business travelers with some families as well.
What problems do you have with the glasses?
Anybody? Why can't I answer that?
Problem.
Yep, okay, great question. You get to ask the first question in the next round. How about that? Don't let me forget that. Hold me to it. Okay, situation questions. Anything else? Let's go ahead and see what you came up with. Bless you. We're now on page 73. 3 in your workbooks. All right, who would like to, oh, no, not who, Maggie. Maggie gets the first problem question. Maggie, lay it on me.
What problems do you have with your glasses?
Oh gosh, let's see. The current glasses, well, I do seem to replace a lot of them. That's a bit of an issue. I never really thought that was out of the ordinary. I thought, well, glasses break, of course you need to replace them, but I was recently at a national conference for purchasing managers for major hotel chains, and we were out in Vegas having our little meeting about hotel glasses, and I found out actually that my replacement rate is quite a bit higher than the industry standard. So the replacements are probably one of my bigger challenges right now.
And what do you attribute that to? For example, is it about the design that causes the breakage and replacements?
Asking about the cause of a problem is a problem question. So just in case anybody's like, I'm not sure that's a problem question, it is. Anything else on that? I think, yeah.
How does that affect your budget? Do you find yourself having to carry excess inventory, and how has that impacted your budget as a result?
It really hasn't impacted my budget because like I said, I typically get that right. What it really impacts is the cleaning staff, right? So they're running around cleaning rooms, moving glasses when they should be cleaning rooms. And just to follow it through for you, with more questions we might have gotten to, well, when they're spending more time moving the glasses around, it takes them longer to clean the rooms, then the rooms aren't ready when people come to check in. I had a big conference that came in that had asked for early check-in, their rooms weren't ready, they went across the street and checked in, I lost them for a week. So there's a whole host of implications there that if we kind of dug deeper, we would have gotten there, making which of these problems probably one of my biggest problems.
3 months.
The 3-month wait.
Which just happens.
Which happens to be
Happens to be one of your differentiators, right? So anyway, so let's just kind of stop that there, because we sort of we're doing 2 things here. One was we were isolating the skills just for the purpose of practice. We planned them, we asked them, right? Second thing was we were trying to come up with different ways of phrasing the questions, right? Because we haven't really done that yet. We've just looked at them, asked by other people, we haven't asked them. So we want to come up with different ways of phrasing them. But the more strategic point, beyond the skill development, was let's go back and look at our solution now, which at first looked like this cheap solution, kind of commoditized. Ooh, I don't know how I'm going to compete here. They've got really fancy schmancy glasses. Now how does our solution look?
Pretty good.
It looks pretty darn good, right? So initially, we probably thought we were going to have to sell on price, and maybe in desperation to get the business, we'd even drop our price further, right? Now what are we going to sell on?
Availability.
We're going to sell on same-day delivery, and what was another one of my big issues that I was trying to kind of make as a bigger issue?
Clean.
The cleaning.
Okay, cleaning, true, and what makes them hard to clean? The etch design and the shape, right? And then what was another one?
The decor and the color and.
Okay, that's true. That's sort of a more immediate. It may not be the biggest issue, but it's very immediate, right?
Theft.
I tried to really build that one up for you because they're walking out of here. They're disappearing because they're so unique and fancy schmancy cool. Well, who is gonna steal a transparent, cylindrical, boring old glass? Well, maybe Phil's wife. Okay. So, and oh, by the way, they're bigger, which didn't really turn out to be one of my issues, but maybe we could have, so what the point we're making here is that we have to know our solution inside and out so that we can start to really focus on uncovering and developing needs where we know we have a differentiated solution. So if I went in there and they didn't care about transparency or same-day delivery, I'd have a harder time selling this solution, other than maybe the transparent piece, if we had really built up that image issue around the color. So it just goes to show a solution that you think, oh, I don't know how I'm going to compete with this solution, when uncovering and developing specific needs to the things that you have to offer, you could really differentiate yourself, and maybe I could even charge $1.20 for my glasses, right? They're still saving money and I'm making a huge profit, right? All right, nice job on that, okay.